Now, we've got some young... Here we go, both playing the same move.
Too much enthusiasm. Too much enthusiasm. All the way to e5.
Fantastic.
e2, e5, by the way, would be a bad move, because then after d6, black undermines immediately the pawn center.
Indeed.
e2, e4 is a better one.
And the games are going to kick off, and indeed, Magnus is going with pawn to e4. Let's see how Mr. Rapport
Avoiding the Benoni. Richie is already surprised. He was counting on 1d4, where he thought to repeat the Benoni or not. Definitely made some plans. And now e4. And Richie is smiling. He has something naughty planned, but he's not sure whether he should spring that on the world champion. No, on world champion. Okay, we'll trap it on this champion.
Well, wow.
Yeah, the French is one of the main openings of Richard, I think. He also recommended that to Ding in the world championship match, and Ding employed it as well. So
we're going to see a Tarrasch again, because I think Magnus played a Tarrasch.
That is true. Right? He did yesterday, but I guess now he's switching to knight c3. Probably a Vinaver of sorts is going to come. Yeah, bishop b4.
Okay.
e5 probably is happening. c5, a3. This main line.
Okay, e5, c5. We've got the Vinaver.
There was this game between Magnus and Richard in the World Blitz Championship a year ago. One of the most fascinating games ever, they call it. There's a lot of content around that game, some epic twists and turns, a lot of good videos you can find online on that game. Now critical moment, Richard. Queen c7, this is the old main line. Probably you have to do it nowadays. There are some options like castle and knight f5, but they're supposed to be dubious these days. So queen c7 or cd, of course, is also another move order to get the same. So I have a French course, and in my French course, I go queen c7.
Okay.
But cd4 first is also a valid order.
The point being, if you take...
Yeah, it's a transpo after take, because rook g8, queen h7, queen c7. The difference is in some sidelines, not in the main. In the main line is the same thing.
Okay.
So Rich taking his time, because both make sense. Interesting developments on the other boards as well.
Okay.
So Daniel Friedman playing a sideline against Catalan, knight c6 to a5. That's kind of a fashionable sideline with Fabi. Fabi actually played it against Ding in a Grand Chess Tour tournament last year. Surprising that Daniel decided to repeat it. So the point is queen c2 b6. But I guess Daniel believes that the line is just sound, so he thinks that even if Ding is prepared, he'll still manage. Quite cool. Because the traditional main line instead of knight c6 is to develop the c8 bishop with bishop d7, bishop c6, move 8. Instead of move earlier. Yeah, this bishop d7, queen c4, bishop c6 maneuver. It's somewhat artificial, but not so bad. And then the b8 knight finds itself employed via d7 or via a6 after a5 as well sometimes. But Friedman chooses another approach. It's knight 6, knight a5. Yeah, you want to fianchetto the bishop from c8 with b6. Some cool lines are going to ensue. I think we'll
kind of interesting.
Yeah. We'll let the players take their time, but eventually some interesting stuff is going to come. Vincent against Maxim, yeah. This is also.
Yep, this position in English 4 knights with d4.
Oh, okay. This is some old stuff that Maxim used to play a lot. I thought he sort of left this territory, but in this tournament he seems to be back to his old ways. After the QGA backfired very badly, he played the QC, Queen's Gambit accepted against Vincent, I think, in the first portion of the tournament, and he suffered in a horrible night endgame. I don't know if you remember. And I think he maybe decided, okay, this whole QGA thing, let's put it on hold. Let's go back to the Grunfeld, anti-Grunfeld routes, and here we have sort of an anti-Grunfeld kind of position. Yeah, black has a choice here, many different options. Maxim used to play CD, knight d4, dc, I think that's what he used to play, but e6 is another main line. CD, and now knight d5 was the main move, but you can also go for the Tarrasch with ed, which is fashionable nowadays. But I think Maxim will take the knight. I think he does knight takes. He's thinking it out.
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit dry, isn't
This
it?
leads to some bishop endgame.
Yeah,
some
this
famous
is the one where
CD knight d4 and
Yeah.
c take bishop d4.
that was
Everything
all
gets
the
traded.
rage. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not fun at all. But Vincent likes it with white. He likes this kind of. I think Peter Lico suffered with black a lot in those positions. I remember he lost one important game there, and I think Peter probably told him that okay, it's worth trying. And Maxim doesn't like such endgames. He doesn't like passive endgames. So Maxim actually went for ED. A very surprising choice from Maxim. I don't think he played this Starash before. Many people did. I played it with black. Fabiana played it a few times. I don't recall Maxim ever playing it, but it's a very trendy thing, the Starash.
Yeah, after bishop g2.
Named after Tarash, yeah.
Everybody and their dog has played this move, the so-called Dubov variation, which has become very fashionable, where it looks as though you're losing a pawn on d5, like so, but the point is...
Bishop e6, I think.
Is it bishop e6?
Yeah, I think bishop e6 is the main move, yeah.
After bishop e6, if you...
Some compensation is there, yeah?
Yeah,
activity.
if you take, you can take the queen, and basically, even though you're a pawn down here with black, you've got amazing activity here.
Yeah, plenty of activity. A king misplaced. Vincent goes for a3, which is the move he's played before. I think he played this against me. Actually, I think I played this against him simply in some rapid event. I think he played a3 against me. And then, yeah, black has choice to go c4 or cd knight d4 bishop c5. The idea of a3 is that after cd knight d4 bishop c5, you want to go bishop e3, and after queen b6, which would now be a mistake because now you have knight a4, and with the bishop on g2 instead of a3, black has queen b4 check. So this is the point, and now you have b4, and now you win the piece. So queen b6 is not possible. That's the point of a3.
That's a cute idea.
But of course, instead of queen b6, black can do something else, and there is a lot of debate there. And c4 here is also principled. Most of the engines prefer c4, but that leads to very strategically complex positions that not everybody likes. Meanwhile, in the Rapport game, we're getting a typical closed win-over position. There's also what I was going for in my course. These kind of positions, I looked at them a lot. They are really fascinating. This queen a5 move was actually...
We saw this already once, I think, this tournament, bishop
yes.
e3, queen a4.
Yeah, against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, right?
Yeah.
But queen a5 move is always clever. You provoke this bishop to d2, because the bishop eventually wants to go back to c1 to a3. So queen a5 gains tempo. In my course, yeah, there was a theme very often. Rook g8, I don't know if
this is the
knight
move.
to 5 or rook g8, I think both are possible. I remember when I was analyzing it for the course, I was hesitating which one to go for, I think both were interesting. Rook g8, yeah, it's not a problem because black anyway wants to castle long usually. So losing the right of castling is not an issue for the most part. a4, knight c6. Ricci is very experienced in these positions, and although Magnus is a brilliant player, this is a very specific position. It's a very specific position, and I'm curious to see how Magnus will handle it and how deeply he has prepared this position, because it's very hard to play these positions without knowing the right plans and
Queen h3.
having the experience. No, Magnus probably is in prep, yeah.
Well, he must be in prep because there was already a game here.
Yes.
And there was one ridiculous idea by the computer that Jan and I were just like queen f4, bishop d7, and the computer wanted to go bishop g4, which is...
That's the main thing.
It's
stopping
just...
knight f5, yeah.
It's just preventing knight f5. And it's so...
Was it here or with the knight already on f5 where you hit it?
No, before.
It was here, yeah?
Bishop g4.
Because with the knight on f5 instead of rook g8, this was also a thing.
Right.
Bishop g4, and then if knight comes to f5, you can even chop it off and go for the dark squares. Queen h3, very cool idea. I mean, looks very mysterious. I don't know how cool.
So when he goes h6, what is the idea?
Maybe bishop h5, or again, maybe bishop h5 is nice to prevent black from castling long. And if you go rook f8 at some point, bishop d7, let's say knight e2. If you go rook f8, then maybe I can target the g7 pawn.
With the queen?
Queen g3.
Queen g3, knight f5.
Yeah, and that would maybe some queen. Actually, queen f. You have a queen f3. And if long castle, then what?
Probably just wants to take.
No way you can take.
I think you can.
Oh, and king b8, queen h5.
Yeah, king b8, queen h5.
That's the idea. That's how you prevent long castle, not by hitting g7, but by hitting f7.
But this is such an unbelievably.
That's the prep, by the way. This is
the prep.
This is likely to come. This is likely to come. This is
yeah,
prep.
100%.
Because as black, I'm sure you really think that you can give up the f7 pawn because the queen is so pinned there. But this queen h5 unpins it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I'm really surprised that this pawn sack of f7 is not okay for black. Really surprised.
Incredible prep, and again, just illustrates how important the use of modern day engines are, because these, I mean, this idea here would be laughed at a few years ago, right? Queen f3? No, you can't play queen f3, then self-pin. This looks absolutely
without
catastrophic.
computer. I mean, if you ask me here, like 3 seconds for
Like
position, you say if it works or not.
G6?
I say it just doesn't work for white.
You would just say you're gonna
No,
lose.
the risk is too high. You might lose the bishop somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't even be analyzed thoroughly back
Probably
in the
not,
day.
no,
it would
no.
just be said that you cannot play like this.
You had, of course, some people back in the day who were very greedy, love their pawns. They would analyze this. You had those greedy people.
There were, I mean, Yasser.
Yasser's still around, still as greedy as ever.
There's Yasser, there's Victor used to love stealing a pawn.
Korsno is famous.
Loved
for,
a pawn.
From our Dutch player, Sergei Tivyakov.
Oh, he loves a pawn.
He loves pawns. I mean,
Yeah,
he'll
he
kill for a
loves
pawn.
a pawn.
Yeah.
Who else loves a pawn from
Wang Yu. I don't know if why.
Wang Yu? Yeah.
Why I remember it now, but Wang Yu at some point was top 10 player. For a short period of time, was playing all the top tournaments and doing it quite well. For somehow a short period of time, then now he switched to coaching, but a very gifted player from China. Wang Yu loved his pawns too. He loved taking and would never give a pawn. I think also he would never give a pawn.
I don't really trust people like that in general.
You think they're hiding something, yeah?
I just think, what kind of life must you lead away from the chessboard? You take a pawn, you never give it back. What kind of?
No, tell me
what
about
kind
it.
of
No idea.
psychopath
No,
are you?
psychopaths. Yes, no, I'm not.
No, I don't mind
know.
if you don't like. If you don't like giving all your pawns, that's degenerate behavior. Sure, I get that, but just somewhere in the middle, I can get on with that. Sometimes you take it, sometimes you don't, but to take it all the time, come on.
Yeah, no, it's.
What kind of life? Shout out to Yasser if you're watching. President of the Pawn Grabbing Society, Mr. Yasser.
Yeah, and what we learned nowadays, of course, with the computer, is that chess should not be played like that. You should not always take or not take. We learned that, it's not a matter of principle. Like sometimes it's good to take, sometimes it's not good to take. It depends.
And Magnus's idea coming to fruition.
It's happening.
Gorgeous idea.
Sometimes he likes to fake that he is not in book, but this time it seems he doesn't want to do that too much. He loves being in prep, but he hates when the opponent is prepped. He doesn't want it fair. He wants that he's the one who is prepped.
Yeah, he loves being in prep.
Yeah, he loves.
And he loves having a good position as well in prep, which is what he's got.
Not necessarily, but now he's got.
Really?
I think he doesn't mind a bad position in prep too, but he prefers a good one.
But
probably.
come on, why isn't this just good for white?
No, this is good. This is good. This is probably good because again, the rook f8 long castle, that's the way to go. And if that doesn't work, if I were Richie, by the way, I would probably go for rook f8 long castle and just see what comes.
Here?
I mean, I don't think g6 is the for me. I know that black can play g6, and Richie has played g6 in similar positions. But it's such a massive strategic concession. Such a massive concession, this g6 move.
Yeah, this is just not a playable move.
It's very playable, I think.
Really?
Nowadays they play like that. Richie
and
had.
If I go here,
doesn't mean just play. I mean, rook h8 or just.
Rook h8? Really?
Even h5. H5 gives up one more square.
Queen f3 or queen h4?
Well, they play sometimes rook h7 in these positions, and they go long castle, and then they go rook f8, knight g8, f5. Yeah, they go for this rook f8, knight g8, f5 plan, and this you are only helping me. I'm gonna go rook h7.
Rook h7?
Yeah, that's what they do. I've seen such positions before, and then they go knight g8. Okay, you should go h4, I guess. Yeah, knight g8, queen draws back, and then I think I can already go f5, ef, rook f8, right? or f6. No, sometimes they go f6. Maybe not even better to not allow any. Maybe I don't know.
Victor Korchnoi is turning in his grave as we speak.
Yeah, but Ricci does it. This comes from the queen e5 maneuver, where so there is a line on move 6 after bc3. It's
okay. We shouldn't go all the way back, right?
No, just quickly. Queen a5 first, bishop d2, queen a4, queen g4, and now you cannot defend the pawn by other means. I mean, you can do king f8, but that's also a concession. So Richard goes g6 here, and Richard played it a few times. Actually, that's what he played against Magnus. And then he puts knight on c6, bishop to d7, goes c4 somewhere, castles long, and prepares his f5, f6 move. So this g6 move is actually possible, but to me, it still looks very ugly. Because of course, the main issue with g6 is that whenever you go for the f pawn break, after ef, you can no longer recapture with the g pawn. So you lost certain dark square control once and for all with the g6 move.
Astonishing stuff, just astonishing. And again, the evolution of chess. Everybody watching, this kind of play was just, you would be laughed at by the old masters. If you showed this in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, Gary Kay, he would just look at you and say, you want to go g6, rook h7, how dare you?
No, but generally it's funny how in the past people used to bully other people for their preferences.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a very intolerant society.
It was very intolerant.
Yeah.
Now it's just a case of, does it work or doesn't it work? There's no bias at the top level.
Yeah, now people, they embrace, all different
exactly
points of view.
Exactly. All right, this is very cool.
Maxim reacted to this a3 move. He was already out of book, it seems, and he reacted with bishop g4, which is
has to be okay.
Possible. Yeah, very logical actually. It's fighting for the control of the d4 square.
Of course.
Bishop e3 is correct. You need to protect the pawn, and the bishop f3 ef. This pawn structure is surprisingly nice for white, because whenever I get my king to g1, it's going to be so safe. I don't know if you're probably a Backhouse lover, aren't you?
No, I'm not actually.
But you do know
I've got
the game.
some friends that are, yeah.
But those who know the Backhouse, well, they know that this structure is massive.
Yeah.
Having the pawn on f3 and f2 is like so good for your overprotection of the king.
Do you like Backhouse?
I like it. I used to love it as a kid, but I enjoy it less now than back then. But still, it's still fun. Especially, it's a social, for me it's a social game, so it has to be in the right company with a good mood. Why not? I like Backhouse. I even like in a good social setting, anything. I even played like poker once. It was also nice when you have friends, and then even the boring games turn out to be fun.
Oh, you're saying poker is a boring game?
Not a factor. No, but poker is known to be a boring game, right?
What?
Poker is boring, no?
Poker's boring?
Is he folding all the time? Or is
folding all the time?
Just me? Or is it just me?
Maybe you're folding
I'm
all
getting
the
bad
time.
cards all the time, I'm folding all the time.
Yeah, maybe you're right,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of chess players are now bona fide poker professionals.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they also wrote me at some point. I mean, they offer you to play for free. I mean, and you can make money. It's an absolute free roll. It's literally a free roll.
Yeah.
So, I would play, if that's how you play poker, yeah, I'm also up for it.
I don't think that's the reality of real poker, let's
No,
say.
but that's the reality of, I think, chess players playing poker. I think that's what you usually get.
I've played a lot of poker with Magnus, for example.
Yeah, no, but that's, again, he is nicely trying to bully you as well. Like, it's social thing, right?
He tried to bully me so much.
Yeah, it's a social thing then.
Because he's just got unlimited wealth, so he can just put immense pressure.
He's free rolling, basically.
Yeah.
He's basically free rolling. He's putting you all in, then he's, buying again. Yeah, exactly. No, it's not fair.
Yeah. We had a great game during COVID, actually. One day I'll write about that. I've got some cool stories. So, Richie did play g6. Now Magnus is just going to come back to h.
Oh, g6, yeah, wow. From Richie, I was really expect to go rook f8 and sack the f7 pawn and see what happens. But Richie,
he's getting old.
No, but he maybe doesn't like giving pawns as well, and he knows the structure very well. He knows that it's not too bad.
Yes.
I'm very curious to see how Magnus will handle it, because he's supposed to have a divine understanding of chess, but this is a very specific position, and I'm curious if his divine understanding will also translate well here, because this is a very, very unusual position that's really difficult to play. Very curious. Ding Friedman is also happening.
Yeah.
This is
looks okay.
Well, so let's see the whole thing. After knight a5, queen c2 b6, knight e5 bishop b7, knight c6 queen e8. That's theory. That's Fabi game. Fabi game against Ding as well. And now Ding might have played knight d2 in that game, and now played rook d1. Bishop c5 is key idea in all of these lines. You go bishop c5, kick that knight away from c6. That's crucial, right? Because knight on c6 blocks the c pawn. You need a c5 break at some point. So knight gets sent back, knight e5, then bishop d6. Logical, logical. Knight c3, logical. Knight d2 is a little more, feels a little more, comforting for me. I like my knight on d2 to c4 to f3. But okay, knight c3 probably also has merits. You're fighting for control of the d5 square as well. And now Daniel, did he spend time on knight e5? He did, yeah. He might be somewhat out of his main lines. Knight a5. The computer also I don't know what engine, but do you know what engine is?
No idea. No.
I'm very curious. Is it some ancient one from back in the day, or is it some?
No idea.
Curious.
Can't
in any case, this engine also mentioned the move h6, which was sensible because now bishop g5 is there, right? I like preventing bishop g5. I really like that. Yeah, because after knight e5, bishop g5, black has to take a very important decision. Because if you go for knight d5, you get a pawn structure. You get a structure, and that means some long-term strategic, bishop f4, knight d3, especially because you already played b6. The c pawn is a bit backward. If you push ever c5, d5 pawn will be weak, hanging pawns. Some strategic risk for black. h6 would be sort of cleaner on move 16. You try to keep this pawn structure intact as it is. And okay, you spend the time, of course, and maybe now knight e4 comes with a tempo. I don't know. A difficult choice. I suspect that Daniel made this choice already behind the board, probably not remembering exactly how his prep goes here, because white has many options. Maybe this was not the most critical one. Yeah, Ding out of book 2, or at least doesn't remember what's up. Yeah, bishop g5, logical. Also can play another move. Bishop f4 first. Now, if bishop f4 first. Now, if knight d5, you just gain the tempo. But black will not go knight d5. Black will probably go for some c5, like with the rook c8, maybe preparing some c5 move. I don't know. I don't know actually what exactly is. Yeah, c5. I don't know. C5 is shaky also. I don't know what is black's plan in this particular position. Because black does have to free himself at some point. Yeah, bishop f4 is nicely ambitious here. Bishop f4 really asks black, what do you want to do? He played bishop f4. Yeah, so this is the position. Yeah, black can still make a waiting move like h6. I think one issue white has is that whenever he goes e4, he cannot so easily push e5 after that, because the knight is in the way. So the e4 push is less good than it seems at first. Still seems to me logical to go e4. I don't know, how bad is e4? Not so bad, but yeah, the knight is in the way. Just what's my next move? Not so clear. Knight is a bit in the way, so this e4 move is maybe not from this opera.
All right, very interesting stuff. In the Vincent versus MBL game, we haven't got that much going on.
At some point, Maxim is considering.
Wow.
At some point, Maxim is considering to trade on f3 and trade on d4. But you have to be very careful with that, because in this, no, I'm taking with a pawn for sure. Definitely. I mean, I don't have to, but I want to. I really want to take with a pawn. So let's say I play rook c1 here.
Let's say you play h3.
Oh, even h3. Let's go h3. Yes. Bishop f3, ef. Yeah, for sure. Ef is the ambitious way. And now, if let's say you take on d4, and to an innocent eye, you might think, okay, black is doing very well, right? Because you have the passed d pawn, But you have to be really careful. After bishop c5, queen d3, I'm going to push f4 at some point. Then your d pawn will be weak. If you go d4, you expose all your light squares. I will play knight e2. I will reroute maybe my knight to d3 one day. And your bishop on c5 is staring at its own pawn. And my bishop on g2 is a monster after f4. I can then play bishop f3, king g2, improve my position further. Usually in such positions, I will eventually gain control over the c file because my pieces are just much better. And your knight on f6 has no outposts. One f pawn controls the e5 square, the other f pawn controls the e3 square. All the squares are taken under control. Now, this structure is, well, for those who are probably not experienced, they might think black is looking very good. But with the pieces that we have on the board, this is very promising for white. So yes, Vincent plays h3. Of course, black should not go cd.
Just pass the coffee. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, buddy. Coffee time. As you guys know, just a small interjection. We were here yesterday 7 hours, I think.
You want an excuse to drink your
No,
coffee?
no, I was saying, but the days can be long.
They can be very long.
And I'm a coffee addict, so...
No shame, but no shame in drinking a little drink, tea or coffee. There's no shame.
Coffee?
You don't need to explain it to anybody. You can do it. It's
well,
fine. It's
there's
allowed.
still
It's
some
fine.
stigma about
No
drinking
stigma.
too much coffee. I
Oh,
would
coffee.
say.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, not tea, of course.
Not yet.
Bishop takes f3. This is actually on the board. And he takes with the bishop. No chess culture, this young lad. Shocking.
No, you can do that too, of course, but I just gave such a speech. I mean,
How dare he?
like it's all in vain. I mean, Peter Lico was watching this. He's like, yes, yes, yes. I mean, very nice, incredible. And then bishop f3 comes, you know. And
Peter's
then
gonna
Peter
be really
dropped,
disappointed.
his coffee. Coffee fell on the floor. Everybody, his wife, like, Peter, what happened? He's like, yeah, just, big drama here.
This is a dramatic moment for Peter as well.
For everybody, I mean, mostly for me, to be honest. I took my time, I gave an entire speech, and it was just not heard at all. But of course, bishop on f3 has all the merits as well. It attacks the d5 pawn.
But it allows black to develop queen d7 with tempo. Now you have to go king g2, let's say.
The problem with my speech was, and I didn't finish it, is that after ef, black doesn't have to take on d4. So this whole beautiful thing, it was only working in my fantasy land. Here, black also goes queen d7, and I can never force this cd4 concession, because dc you always have d4. So you go queen d7, rook d8, and maybe even you go somewhere. Maybe you go for c4, and c4 b5 plan, and then it's okay, double-edged. So the whole speech was mostly aimed at cd position. So that's why Vincent takes with the bishop. Queen d7, yeah, good move. Now big choice for Vincent. King g2 is the most evident move, but there are options. There are options of queen d7. You can also consider like bishop g5, very forcing. You'll probably lose a pawn there, but you'll gain some light squares. I guess king g2 is by far the most natural. Bishop g2 also possible. Yeah, king g2 I like it. In general, king g2 is of course the way. In general, you should move your pieces. You should move your pieces upwards a bit. Everything should come a bit. It should come a bit upwards into the center. It should all come together. So that's why bishop f3, king g2 is always nice. Make the board smaller,
All right, we'll come on to that. Let's go back to Magnus, because we have had some quite groundbreaking developments. Bishop g4, h5 was played, bishop f3, knight f5, and g4 by Magnus, trying to
deep
solve the issues, and after
very
castles
deep prep.
just takes.
Yeah, that's you see, that's how you have to play chess. You have to understand and prepare very deeply. You cannot stop, You have to continue and see how to play after g6, h5, for example. Not take anything for granted.
Yeah.
And g4, bishop g4, all the difficult decisions, he just knows them.
So let's try and understand this. So there's a critical moment.
That's where domination is the point.
That's where dominate. Well, there are 2 points. Right? Point number 1 is gf looks very hard to play because you give the passed h pawn free route, and this bishop can guide.
Exactly.
Pawn.
If I get my pawn to h6, it's so well protected there.
And you can.
In the end, bishop to f6 and promote.
It's just over.
Yeah, no, this is very dangerous for black, but ef is also horribly ugly.
So ef looks more palatable,
bishop
but
g5.
After bishop g5, let's say rook to e8,
King
and now
d2
queen. Well,
I mean, let's say king d2 or any move. Now the thing is, now you don't have to rush. You move the queen away, you go h4, complete dark square control. Black has zero activity. His only chance maybe to bring the knight to e6.
That's what I'm
maybe
saying.
seat it out. White can trade these knights with knight f4 and takes. Doesn't have to, probably shouldn't. But then white is dominating completely. The rooks are completely immobile, black rooks, because both the d8 and h8 squares are taken. So rooks stand without any future. The bishop, light square bishop, is doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, imagine you had time for h4. You slightly misplayed it.
Yeah,
but you slightly misplayed. You should probably move the bishop, the queen first. You could have also, instead of king d2,
maybe not even king d2.
Yeah, maybe just queen e3.
Queen e3.
Knight d8, h4. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, knight e6. You can go bishop f6. No, f4 then. Maybe king d2. You can allow knight h5. I think king d2 is more. Nothing moves basically, and black maybe can sit it out, and maybe it will hold as a fortress. Probably not, but that's basically your only hope. You're already in the fortress mode. So yeah, very, very sad positioning coming for Richard. He has to try and stir up something. Maybe gf after all instead of ef, because here you have no plan at all. Maybe gf, and then try and go for f6 very fast, because with ef you allow bishop g5. Now you prevent it, you don't allow bishop g5, and maybe you immediately want to play f6, ef, e5 or something like that, and just try to exploit the fact that white king is a little bit vulnerable being in the center.
Very important decision here for Richie Rapport, and not an easy one, and not a pleasant one. Both look like they offer whites a really comfortable game.
EF is a standard way, but he made that face, like he made that unsatisfied face.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He does with a heavy heart.
Do you know a lot about that unsatisfied face? How that
Never
looks?
seen one.
Really?
No, no. All my customers are satisfied.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That's weird. I saw your wife.
No, my customers are satisfied.
I saw Sopico and it was a similar looking face.
No, you should have. I was thinking you're gonna make some more innocent, chestable answers.
It was an innocent joke.
But you went all out.
No.
You went for the below the belt one.
Is she watching?
As always.
Is she watching?
No, hopefully not.
Probably not.
Hopefully not.
Sopico, if you
not that she liked you anyway, but this is certainly the end for you.
Shout out to Sopico and
not
the
gonna be
family.
satisfied with that one, I can tell you.
Sorry?
Not gonna be satisfied with that one, with your remote. No.
Is she not?
No.
She won't see the funny side of it?
No.
No,
she will, of course.
Of course she will.
Yeah.
Yuck. Bishop g5, rook d8.
Now, though, I have to say, as we were showing the lines,
Yes.
white, I don't see how white gets everything, because if you go for queen e3, like I showed in the last line, the move you are going to make,
Yes.
knight d8,
Yep. Hold on 1 second.
h4,
While I'm trying to get the actual stream up.
knight e6, king d2. Now black can activate with rook h8, rook h5.
Oh.
That's at least maybe some improvement.
Okay.
So if you try to prevent that with bishop f6, a move earlier,
Yeah.
maybe there was f4 and maybe g5 or something like that. I don't know. So bishop f6, let's say. f4 maybe. Queen somewhere. Maybe g5.
Nah.
Maybe.
Really?
Okay, I have desperate mode, so I'm trying something.
Yeah, I can't go h5, that's the problem. But I
Yeah,
can take.
g, knight g, bishop g, rook g, queen f4. Maybe something dynamic here because your king is in the center, but not really. Yeah, rook f5,
Queen e3.
and f6, f4. Yeah, I'm having no play at all. No play at all. Yeah, didn't manage. So maybe this is the right way. But okay, you play king
Magnus
d2.
does go king d2.
Okay.
Is that a slight inaccuracy?
So if knight d, by the way, knight d8. If I take, I don't get to stabilize. Now I want to see if I can take on d8. I don't get to stabilize the dark squares, right? because you get g5 and f6. Yeah, queen d8. Yeah. No, I'm not in time to. If I were in time to somehow stabilize, it would be not so bad maybe to give up this bishop. But yeah, no, the bishop is holy. Bishop also controls all the f6 breaks. So you need the bishop. He went rook h8. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? He got that rook to the h file.
Now the question is there a major difference between g3 and e3? E3 feels more natural to me, but what do I know? You know?
Yeah, I think very hard to say what's more natural, right? Because indeed, you could also say that queen e3 is in, you know,
in
the
the line
e-file,
of the rook.
the line of the rook. Yeah, I'm not sure Magnus could have prevented this, because if queen e3 first, also rook h8 was there, maybe. I'm not sure this is such a big deal. The rook, because black rook on the h file is just as stuck, possibly. If I go, let's say, queen g3, h4, you imagine that's going to happen. And we trade knights on e6, your rook on h8 or h5, it's still stuck within a certain corner. It doesn't really go anywhere. Now, it will just come down to how does white break through. But usually the answer is somehow. I imagine that at some point white queen will come across and activate via a3. I think that's what's going to happen at some point. Queen will make it to a3 and leak in through that side. And rook will come in through the b file somewhere. This is going to happen.
It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. King g2 played by Vincent in the other game, rook fd8, totally as planned, and rook c1. And black is nicely centralized. White cannot take because of the move d4, which is a double attack fork. So Vincent trying to make some improving moves. Rook c1 is
White is a bit stuck though, yeah, for moves.
I think he wants to do this.
He likes this stuff, yeah.
He loves this stuff.
Yeah. And he wants to provoke c4. Maybe with black I would go h6 and then go c4, because direct c4 allows bishop g5. So h6, let's say rook c2. Maybe even e6 first, or then dc.
No, then I can take dc and rook d2. Maybe not even. I don't know.
Not sure. Bishop c5. Yeah. Knight a4. I'm afraid. By the way, knight b6 is coming.
This is very nice.
Yeah. No, it's a problem. No. So c4 first. Rook. Yeah, this bishop f4, bishop e5. Of course, that's
yes.
Another thing. Queen e6 though. Yeah, I wonder. Do I want g5 or? Probably. I can go g5, but maybe I don't really want to weaken myself. I'd rather not. Well, we could get something like that.
D2 again. And if g5, bishop e5 still, right?
Yeah. Okay, could be quite equalish.
Yeah.
Could be equalish if we trade everything. But okay. Anyway, currently Maxim is contemplating his options. He doesn't have to go for this exact line, but he has to at some point. Likely, he will have to push c4, and he is going to try now to find the best version to do that. Because yes, Vincent will eventually probably force him to push this. He could go, by the way, queen e6. Idea being that after rook c2, I can play rook d7, rook d2, rook c d8. I'm refusing to bow, and I'll just dc d4 still in the air, and I'm not going to go for c4 until I decide to. Yeah, how do you keep putting pressure now?
Difficult.
Yeah, you move the queen out, let's say queen b1.
And by the way, all of this is happening because he didn't take on f3 with the pawn. If he took on f3 with the pawn, he has knight e2 in so many lines.
Yeah, but then c4 anyway comes after knight e2. c4, b5 comes. Not so simple. Not simple.
No, maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
chess is so hard. I mean, every little move, every little thing.
I think anyway, most people would take ef just to look cool. I think you just take ef like.
Well, I'd tell you this: the next time I have any position where I have the choice between bishop takes f3 and e takes, I'm just going to take with the pawn out of principle.
It's sort of common knowledge that ef is the cool move. Like, it's just the cool move.
Even if it's worse, I'm going to do it.
No, but you're supposed to do it kind of, and then
then I'm going to tweet you.
Yes. No, that's what.
But not during the game because I can get disqualified.
You will get disqualified. Nowadays, very strict.
You can't tweet during games. It's outrageous.
No, I checked with our organizers; they refuse, all of them. Yeah.
I'd love to be able to tweet mid-game. Wouldn't that be
very
great?
Fine, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Grow the game, basically.
Yeah, playing white against Lamy.
I mean, Hikaru, he does this confessions, right? In the Norwegian confessional booth,
right, yeah.
where he's giving his recap, and he's. I like whenever Hikaru gives free content for others, he always it's always an ad, yeah?
Yeah.
He's like, so here we have this, this, this. If you want to see more, like join my, you can find it on my YouTube channel. And people anyway like it because, okay, it's, you know, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's just good fun. Okay, the Magnus game slowing down a little bit.
He put the queen on f3, interesting.
Oh, yeah, because after knight f4. Because probably doesn't matter, yeah? That's probably why.
Knight e6?
Yeah, it doesn't matter where the queen was, right? Yeah, knight takes e6.
He wants to just take.
Yeah, generally I think you always wanted to take. I guess, okay, bishop takes is most normal. Now, fe weakens the g6 pawn very much.
Yeah.
I find it a bit ugly. I would take with the bishop and hope for some kind of fortress. But yeah, now h4. Okay, it's so not a fortress, just I don't know, like it's really not a fortress, I'm sorry. It's probably like that game with Magnus had against Vincent, where it looks like maybe it's a fortress, but then he just wins effortlessly because he just brings the pieces to all the best squares, breaks through and wins. The line is very thin between a fortress and a position that loses automatically. Like it's.
Would you say then you think that this position is probably losing then?
Practically, because very often what you have in those positions is that it's not a fortress. Humans try to play it like a fortress and then lose, but it is a position that is still holdable because the computer at the right moment will always find some sort of defense. But I think this one is beyond that. I think this is just probably lost in computer terms too. But it's even more lost in humanly because humanly, like it's such a clear position that even a grandmaster can play it like an engine because there's just everything is clear. There's zero counterplay. Everybody can just tell, okay, you have to improve your pieces, right? Bishop is already perfect. Probably you have to improve your queen. So you just see the queen can only activate itself via a3 or via h5 break. So little things to consider. And you can try also different things. I mean, it's very hard to really go wrong here. And
by the way, Magnus played a really nice Zwischenzug, bishop f6. This is obviously very good. Because now when the rook moves, he goes knight f4 and you have to take a time out to defend d5.
Yes. Does he by any chance want to take the pawn on d5?
Yeah. Like if rook h7, let's say knight f4.
Yeah, knight e6, queen d5 is possible or not?
Yes.
It's very uncalled for. I would never really do that, by the way, because queen c7 maybe.
There's a bishop c6.
Queen c7. No, bishop 6 I have knight e7 check. This I sort of saw.
Oh, yeah.
Although even that is not good conversion, but especially concerned, like I think this is what you really should not do. Like you should not allow your opponent counter chances and take pawns that are blocking their entire position.
But we were just talking about taking pawns.
Exactly.
Yasser, Victor.
Yeah, but this pawn, I mean, they also had limits, yeah? I mean, they had limits. They would probably not take this one.
Free pawn in the middle of the board. Yeah, you're right. The counterplay, oops, sorry, that's not the move I wanted to play, but the counterplay down here is just going to be too much.
Rook to h6, deep.
Rook to h6, not the square I would choose, but
why
then
not?
again...
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Doesn't matter where you put that rook, I guess.
Okay, for me, I would go knight f4, and if knight e6, I would just take.
Yeah.
And the way I would play this, very similar. This is what I would do. Is I'd play rook b1. The bishop will probably have to go back to d7.
Okay, sorry, I should have taken with the rook, by the way. Because then bishop anyway is on d7 and I can activate my rook on the 6th rank at least.
Okay.
At least I can...
So let's say I go h4.
Maybe I can swing to b. Okay, maybe first of all, rook h5, just to avoid any h5.
Okay, I'm going to go here.
Okay, you allow some rook f6, rook h4. That's one thing you should avoid them.
Rook f6, rook h4?
You should avoid any counterplay. I mean, you can also easily avoid it. Just play some queen.
Okay, I put my bishop here first.
Bishop g5 is nice, yeah, to avoid any tricks. And now I wonder, what if I play rook b6? But maybe, maybe it's a horrible idea. Because maybe that is one rook that I should still keep. Because if you trade this rook, my other rook is for sure dead. This is only going to make life easier for whites. Because, yeah, without this rook, black has no rooks left that can do anything.
And if you go super greedy like this?
Yeah, but this pawn in Vinavar, it never changes anything, yeah. Rook a1, it just doesn't change anything.
You have to go like...
b5, queen d5 also.
Actually, you're just totally stuck.
And queen b5, this is kind of a famous construction where you're completely tied up.
Yeah, and in fact, bishop f6 just dead. Well, there's some
just
e6
e6 somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, some e6 is just.
Yeah, this is just
you're getting
infiltration.
You're getting
Infiltration. h4 played. Peculiar order. I am wondering, it doesn't matter, but maybe Magnus doesn't want to change knights at all. There's other ways of playing it as well, like queen e3, f4, knight g3, h5 type plan. Yeah, maybe he thinks that it's more likely a fortress with knights than without. Or the way around, more likely fortress without knights than with. So he gives that extra piece on the board. Yeah, I would for sure trade knights, of course, to eliminate any potential counterplay. But what he potentially chooses is potentially more ambitious, because there is a limit to how much counterplay black can generate with knight on e6. If I play queen e3, let's say, also this rook on h6, I don't know why Richard provoked this queen e3 move, but okay, whatever. Rook h5, let's say, or rook h7, maybe rook h7 is better, sorry, because you'll be hit. Rook h7, I'll go f4, let's say. What is actually your counterplay here with black? I don't see any counterplay anyway. Knight g3, h5 coming.
I've really enjoyed commentating with you, Anish. I just want to say that. I'll explain why to the viewers.
I somehow don't trust you. Something.
No, it's not a joke. It's me being just dead honest. You have got an astonishing understanding of structures, ideas. Now, of course you are, because you're one of the.
And yet,
there is no and yet.
And yet.
I just think if I commentated with you for like a year straight, anybody would just improve their level so much. And everybody watching this, I hope you're appreciating the gold that Anish is dropping. Look at these ideas he's dropping. Just talking about every single position. It's an honor, my friend.
Thanks, Magnus.
I mean it. It's really like. Do you do private coaching as well? For me?
No, special occasions. So
special
maybe
occasions.
you are my special occasion. Yeah.
No, but seriously, absolutely brilliant stuff, Anish. Brilliant.
Yeah, but also we have the computer here. So I'm particularly good at working with computer because I've done it for so many years. So I'm basically very good at interpreting what the computer is saying. So not all of it is my understanding. A lot of it is me sort of just reading out what the computer says.
But that's not true. You were talking.
But you still, you can still misinterpret it. And
I think Magnus misinterpreted. This was a bit hasty by Mr. Carlsen.
Wow.
Why he missed g5, and the idea is that after queen takes f5, knight takes d4 is catastrophe. No.
But that is obvious, right?
With the double attack.
Oh wait, there is some point to this. Okay, g5. Let me try to understand.
No.
Well, there's some kind of human point to this that he blundered. Okay, what if rook a g1? Yeah, queen e3. Okay, but it's complete collapse, yeah? No, I'm just losing. Yeah, knight f4, rook f6, knight g5, yeah? No, this is not what he missed. What did he miss?
Oof, no, he missed this. He missed this. f4, knight f4, rook f6. He's missed this. This is the move. This is.
Yeah, you think this is
the move.
Yeah, simple,
he just missed this and knight g5, and then you come in, and now suddenly you collapse. Oof. Wow. Wow.
No, but
Richie's going to see this.
But maybe he planned something. So after g5, can I see again? What could he have missed? Because he clearly thought here. Queen f5, knight d4 is not what he missed. This is of course too obvious. Yeah, he thought the construction falls apart for black. Queen. Knight g3, knight d4 also is not something he would miss. So strange, also uncharacteristic of him, because he knows all about gradual play and all about no hurry, all this kind of stuff we learn. Like he's representing that. He lives that. So he knows everything. He understands also everything. So it's not understanding mistake. It must be some sort of a tactical oversight. Yeah, probably it's that line. It's a rook f6. He missed rook f6.
He missed rook f6.
Yeah, that's what he missed. Yeah, because Magnus, he makes tactical oversights. He doesn't make positional mistakes.
Wow, and Richie found it. Of course he did. Richie Rapport. And
No,
Magnus now is going to...
Look at him. He's not happy.
He's not, now we're going to watch this reaction from Magnus, and we're going to see the pain. So he understands he can't take on d4. And the problem is, if you allow black to play f4 and g4, just...
No, but I mean, there's so many resources here, like rook takes f6 again, g4, rook takes f6, knight g5, knight e4. Even without, it's also a thing.
He could lose.
It's getting very double-edged now.
He could lose.
And it was so uncalled for. Like, he could have played it so safe. But he, of course, I mean, he understood he could have played it safe, but he wants to get the maximum out of his advantage. That whole tingling thing we talked about yesterday, that's there. But he must have overlooked that tactic.
This was the first time I think this tournament I've seen him be a bit rush. He is human after all. He is the best of all.
Can you tell me after rook g1, rook g8, what happens? I just want to see what was going through his mind. Rook g8, yeah, make that bad move. Queen e3, f4, knight f4, yeah. He saw that.
And bishop d8 check at the end.
No, but bishop e8, can you see exactly? So f4, knight f4, knight takes f4. Is it bishop g5 simply? No, queen.
No, he wants to take.
Gf, rook g8, bishop e8, rook e8 just continues. Yeah, it's just continues.
This is
you're just winning, yeah.
Yes.
I thought bishop e8, but then just rook e8, rook e7, rook f7. You're just completely winning there, yeah.
And if this...
Yeah, I think he saw this, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's what he saw.
Rook e7.
I think that's what he saw. He thought black's position is collapsing after rook g1.
This is actually just winning for white.
That's the only explanation. And he missed the entire rook takes f6 thing, the whole pattern. He just completely eluded him, and he was just thinking g4, queen e3. He's there, he's cracking. So rook g8, and he liked this rook g8, queen e3, f4, knight f4. He thought it's very pretty. He liked it. He went for it, missing everything. And now he has to change gears. He's very good at that, of course. He's all about changing gears, solving problems that are in front of him.
I don't know. I'm worried for him. Wow.
King c1 is maybe. King c1 is maybe.
A tough move.
Well,
you disconnect the rooks.
But you try to get out of this knight g5 check thing, like.
Tough move though.
Yeah, but okay, you have to. At this point, it's all about. It's it's an emergency break kind of situation. You damage control rather, just damage control. Clearly, you're not lost here.
No.
You played
no.
K1 also actually very, very good consolidating move. You try and consolidate.
And if he does the same thing, g4.
Yeah, g4. Queen e3. Now after f4, knight f4, rook f6, ef, knight g5. You have queen takes e8, bishop e8, rook takes e8. That's sort of the point. That's knight g5. Yeah, not knight f4. Yeah. So he prepared for the sequence. But of course, the difference is that you are not at all forced to go for g4 is black. Yeah, this is winning somehow. It's not so obvious.
Not so obvious?
I mean, knight f3, queen c3, I thought. But anyway, this is not going to happen because you don't have to go for g4 sequence.
Right.
By the way, I see you save there, and I just want to have a little peek. I guess we're not going to watch the games. We're not going to watch the open games, through the broadcast, but we can just have a little.
Is it the final round of the?
It's the final round. So I'm a little bit curious at how it's going.
You watch for that, Anish. We'll keep an eye on this. By the way, Ding against Friedman is suffering for Daniel Friedman, who is.
Let's see how he lost that pawn.
A pawn down. Let's see. 95, bishop d2, b5, takes. 94 is nice. Takes. Oh wait, something here. Takes, and then he missed this. Oh, and now you have to lose a pawn. This was very nicely calculated by Ding. This is the Ding we know. This is a bit more of the old Ding. Now he's going to grind this out, and this is just pure disgusting suffering.
Black never really got, let's just go back a bit, Black
Yeah.
never really got that c5 break. Yeah, b5, very, very anti-positional move here, of course. Okay, he dropped the knight back to c6, logical. Knight b4, knight d5, also sensible. Yeah, but this is a very anti-positional move, because now you got this hole on c5. This is, but it's very clearly bad for Black, right? Yeah, b5 is a terrible move. Terrible move. At least go f5. Sometimes you can play f5, abandon the whole c5 plan, and go for the kingside play, which is not going to be checkmate, but some play. But the b5 is absolutely a horrible decision. Pretty obvious too. Yeah, because even de is nice for white, but yeah, bishop b4 is very clean, and just a full pawn here for white. d5 is nice again, very clear cut. Rook d1. Yeah, you know, the amazing part about these positions is not only are your pawn up, the b pawns, it's very nice to have the b pawns, because let's say if it was b against a, there is some potential to trade them. But when they are both b pawns, they can never be traded. So all the rook endgames, they're going to be always lost, because you can never trade the queenside pawns. So you're basically just, if white is careful, a little bit careful, you just lost. Yeah, but he's not careful, he blundered the rook. Oh no, he didn't blunder rook e8.
What?
Queen b5?
Rook b8, queen f5.
Some weird deep line, yeah?
But this is a very weird move by Ding. I mean,
You just play rook d2
any
or something.
move, yeah,
rook
rook
d2.
d2 is just so classic, and just carry on.
Yeah, queen e5 suddenly allows a very weird sequence. So rook e8,
Rook e8 is the most obvious
queen
move.
b5,
Queen b5,
rook b8. Somehow managing to trade the b pawn, which I just said is not possible, but okay, this way it's possible. Yeah, rook a b2, I guess back rank will happen after rook b2. Yeah, and now there is some kind of trick. Rook d7, rook f8. Normally 4 against 3 would be a draw, but here there is rook f7.
Ah.
Okay, I've seen this kind of endgame recently in Isle of Man, and it is very close between a win and a draw when you have these two pawns on one wing. It's very hard to convert.
This is hard to convert, isn't it?
Yeah, because you sort of, at some point I will put two rooks, you know. Yeah, it was something like this. It was very hard to convert. I mean, it's kind of easy to play, let's say, but at some point Black might get some kind of a defensive setup. It will be hard to break through. But that game White won, and I guess this one he should win too. I'm curious, did Ding see the entire line or what?
I mean,
For a change.
wow. If he see. By the way, this is how much of a chess Neanderthal I am. I would just assume that this is relatively easy. Not easy, but well, I guess the point is.
Let me try to remember who played that game.
The moment you start pushing the E and F pawn, your king gets exposed.
Yeah, though you can play h4, king h3 somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. I would do something like the setup that feels most natural to me here would be something like king g2.
Okay,
Let's say, I don't know, he doesn't have a useful move here, so let's just say he goes h6, I go h4. Maybe h6 is already a blunder.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to illustrate is, let's say he moves the rook away.
Yeah, I'm wondering now if this is not a much better version of the positions that it was in that Isle of Man game.
Even if you double against
no, but now you don't have a threat, yeah? I just need to protect the f pawn. Because I'm up 2 pawns. Yeah, knights or even queen on f5. Then on d4. But even this, yeah, on e5.
Oh yeah, you want to check.
No, it's just even nicer because you gain time.
I'm just trying to illustrate something. And go e5. Like, from afar, this just looks very winning, and but maybe it's not.
Yeah, the guy had 2 pawns on one wing.
Which game are you talking about?
Yeah, I remember the game because in Isle of Man, it was this open tournament,
yes.
Grand Swiss,
yeah, I remember.
and everybody had to wait for that game. I think it was actually a game of Hans. I think Hans was on the winning side. It was like round 2-3.
Okay.
Let me see. Grand Swiss.
Hans against Peter? Could be.
Grand Swiss. Nowadays, it's so hard to find games, by the way, of the tournaments, you know? Like, I mean, we are playing chess. I just want to find the games, the chess games.
Really hard.
Very often on websites, you know, you have all information, but you don't have games. It's kind of funny.
In the meantime, we're going to quickly look at this Vincent game. Gone horribly wrong for Vincent. Horribly wrong. Ever since he didn't take on f3 with the pawn, it's gone wrong. c4. He's come back given, I mean, Anish was talking about how black wants to play c4, so he's given MVL a whole tempo. Now h6, and bishop d6, and a6, threatening b5. And Vincent went for a very this is a very committal decision, bishop f4. This is clearly a decision to, he just didn't like his position here at all, but of course you damaged the structure. The knight has now got a beautiful square on e5. Black has got play on both wings. He can go b5. This is just not a good position for white. Even if you put the rook on g1 and the king on h2, there's just nothing going on down the g file. The knight will sit on f5. The knight can come to h4. The knight can even reroute to d6, of course, and the e4 square becomes possible. When the knight comes to d6 like this, when the knight comes to d6 like this, then a5, b4 can happen. So MVL has just got multiple plans here, and Vincent cannot be enjoying his position. This is just a very, very difficult position to play as white.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster for Vincent.
It's a disaster on the left, right?
Everywhere.
In center.
So MBL should be very happy.
Impossible to find, by the way, any chess game nowadays.
Yes.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember who played it. I remember even one of the early rounds, but I just cannot find it. Like, the websites are so clumsy. But here it's just, you've got the queen side and you've got the king side. It is g5 break at any time against this pawn structure. Is like king h8, rook g8, common idea.
This is just dreamland for MVL. Dreamland.
This bishop f4, by Vincent was too risky finally.
Too risky.
Too risky. That moment was somewhat desperate, I guess, because he just didn't see counterplay against the queen side. He just thought b5 is coming. He was trying to generate counterplay. Yeah.
He should have gone queen d2
and then
at least bishop f4 like this. This is much more sensible.
And then take with the queen.
Yeah, and then at least you've got some e4 ideas.
Yeah, though e4 is also not like very promising idea, because then I'll just trade and have the queen side, but at least it's drawish somewhere. Yeah, this was much more better defensive attempt, because here just very risky pawn structure. Wow, very risky. Of course, he was hoping maybe he has some kind of play on the king side, but very unclear who's going to have the play on the king side. Because after king h8, rook g8, which is a thing. Also, knight can get to h4 sometimes. Yeah, not good. Let's see maybe the Magnus game, because very exciting stuff's happening there.
Wow.
Okay,
so we lost right after rook a1.
He's finally getting that thing, by the way. Rook e1, f4.
Rook g1.
Oh, now it works. Now the whole thing works again.
Because g4 you can just take with the rook, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because before you couldn't take with the queen.
Yeah, no, the pawn was on f5. Now it's on f4.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Now you can just take with the rook.
Also, he nonetheless regained control after rook a1. After rook a1, by the way, it was difficult for black to find the right difficult for black to find the right solution. Maybe you should do nothing. The computer said just do nothing. There's no threat actually. There's actually no threat. Just make a waiting move. b6, even a6.
b6 was.
I don't know what. Okay, and king b8 can I do, or there's some? Now after rook g1, g4, queen e3. Oh, queen f5. There is the 7 bishop hanging now. Okay, so you cannot. Yeah, just a waiting move. Yeah, just literally a6. It's almost Tsuksan. White plays rook h2. Kind of Tsuksan, neutral Tsuksan.
Incredible.
Funky stuff. Funky stuff. Just a Tsuksan. Because f4, yes. Now rook e1. Very hard to see, of course, that you now switch. Yeah, and now knight f4. Yeah. Now that same thing. It works.
Oh my goodness. Knight takes f4, shebang. Played by Magnus Carlsen. And Rapport is in bits. Richie's like, huh? What just happened?
You know what? what he might have missed, he thought rook takes f6.
Yeah.
E takes f6, knight takes f4. Now after queen f4, gf, rook c7, rook g8, I can play king c7.
Yeah.
And he thought, okay, he probably stopped here because if h6, bishop f5, h7, queen a4. And you're not able to protect the c2 pawn without giving up the... yeah, rook c8 actually nice, rook c8 nice try, but then king b6.
Oh, that's a beautiful try. Trying to divert either the bishop or the king. And after king b6, now you can, wow, now you can give a check here, king a5.
King a6, and it's no checks anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, so this would be good for black, but after king c7, move 31. Yeah, apparently you don't have to rush the h pawn push. You can just go rook g7.
This is not straightforward at all.
No, well, not until you play it. Let's say, yeah, it's not obvious, but once you're here, you play rook g7, the position plays itself. Let's say now. Okay, now I just push h pawn.
The chess speaks for itself.
Yeah, now it speaks for itself. Bishop f5, rook f7, king d6, rook c1, and.
Even this is, by the way, just totally like, I would see queen e8 from afar and just think, okay, I'm not queening this pawn.
Yeah, it's counterplay is there, huh?
No. This is not. This is no. This is not how to play chess.
Not straightforward. Yeah, it's
this
very
is
unclear.
And there's like, because here sometimes when the queen goes, this is a check here and all, like rook b7 f3.
I mean, white has to be very accurate.
I mean, I would think that I'm just losing.
Rook e1.
Okay, rook e1, queen h,
queen h5, f7.
Queen g6, h7. I don't know.
F7 probably, yeah.
Like h7? Oh, f7.
Yeah, h7 also looks good, but you could go to h5.
f7 allowing queen takes h6.
Yeah, and rook e3.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, somehow there's some magic there, yeah. Because the key is also that. Yeah, actually there's no key. I just want to go rook b8, and if you protect, I can also go rook e8 somewhere. Yeah, but it's just.
But this is just not possible. This is not going to happen. Maybe it will happen.
I think it will happen actually. Yeah.
Unless there's something really clever here.
It will actually happen.
How bad is queen takes d5 here, Anish?
No.
What? No.
Queen d5 is not working.
Why?
Even queen c7.
Just queen c7?
Yeah, just queen c7. No, it's...
Does it? Because it's queen takes f4 check.
Yeah, it's not working. The whole sequence is absolutely forced, right? Ef knight f4. No, can I go h6 after knight f4? Is that an alternative? So, no, now ef knight f4. Yeah, can I go h6 here? That's maybe an alternative.
Looks logical.
Yeah, this is a position, some weird position.
Push the pawns, and if you move, I go h7, rook h8.
Yeah, okay, just queen e3 and play. I don't know, because of course my h pawn is very far. It says I'm not going to promote, but maybe it is. I don't know. You don't have that much counterplay. I have everything under control. Queen e3, even rook takes g5 is an idea somewhere. Yeah. And okay, I don't know. Somehow, gonna be hard to make that final push to h8, but you know.
Yeah. No. This is very good, of course.
You know, the dink game is actually taking that trajectory we're talking about.
Oh wow, it has. It's exactly that.
Just one thing, the queen a2 here, it's losing instructively.
Oh, there's some rook c8. Let me see if I can find it.
Some rook a7 maybe.
Now, what about rook db7?
Yeah, that's a move.
Or rook a7, yeah.
But maybe rook a7, because rook db7 maybe I have like h6 simply. But rook a7 maybe is the move.
Wow.
Instead of rook here.
Yeah, what he's saying is queen a2, and now some back rank themes with rook a7.
Yeah, it's queen e6 I taken.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so he does go for the sequence. No, I actually have to find that game, but it's impossible. I mean, I try everything.
Somebody tweet at Anish Giri. We're looking at the game where we have a similar ending to what we're going to get on.
Yeah, it was a game of Hansen, Isle of Man. I can absolutely assure you of that. But it's impossible. There's not a website which just shows you games, just like games of Hans Niemann. Can I just Google maybe Google just chess games of Hans Niemann? Yeah, chess games.
Meanwhile, we've got that position in Carlsen, big moment. Is he going to play queen takes f4, the spectacular queen takes f4 computer line? where you give up the queen and it looks difficult from far, or are we going to see the more human pawn to h6, which looks also very, very tough for black.
No, epic if they go for that sequence, by the way, epic. Because again, the straightforward line doesn't win. The h6, h7, h8, that's what you calculate as like a human, like you just want to queen the pawn, that doesn't work. So you have to take it a step further, you have to go for rook g7, and then of course you cannot calculate it anymore because it's no longer forcing. Then there's like, you are afraid that you might miss a move somewhere, some queen e8 somewhere, so this you have to go, you know, a little deeper. I'm curious if Magnus goes for it, because he can also go for h6. But queen f4, yeah, very tempting, of course, very tempting.
All right, guys, keep on coming in with your tweets. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, try to find us the game of Hans.
If you can help us find this game of Hans, that would be superb. There's Anish's, because we've got exactly a similar ending here in Ding against Friedman. At Lawrence Trent IM, I'm looking at, thank you everybody for your comments.
Thank you indeed, people. But
yes.
I was wondering, so your Twitter username is Lawrence Trent IM?
Yes.
You didn't have the confidence?
No, when I created it, well, I've been an IM for like 25 years. So
but still, the little belief.
Not 25 years, no, wait. How old am I? Nearly 40. Oh, God. It's going to be nearly 25.
Okay, I'm sorry. Some existential crisis.
Yeah, that is an existential. So when I do get the GM title, and I will
what will you do?
I'm going to change my Twitter name.
You'll write to Elon Musk saying,
you can change it.
Can you change the @ thing?
I think so.
Can you? No, you can change the name, of course. I'm not sure you can change the @ because @ is your
right.
email address type of thing, yeah? I don't know. I think you're doomed.
That will be a.
I think you've cursed yourself.
Do you think I can do it, Anish?
Change the name or become the GM?
Become a GM.
Become a GM.
Tough one, huh?
Hard nowadays. You need to find the right tournaments.
You're telling me.
You need to find very right tournaments at this point. So many good players. You need to find some bad players somewhere. I don't know where they are. Where are they hiding? I don't know.
Why is nobody bad anymore?
No, you need to find some bad players. Not easy. Okay, Magnus didn't go for queen f4.
He didn't go for queen f4.
Yeah, because again, the direct line didn't work.
Yeah.
What worked was the second wave. This computer sees that. Humans don't see that usually. By the way, the Maxim position, it changed dramatically.
Wow.
We are now having an endgame.
Oh no, but this
nice
is
for black, but no longer like it's not anymore so bad, of course. Yeah, probably it's quite equalish.
We had this. Okay.
Yeah, he decided to, it appeared as though white is bringing pieces to the king side, and it started to feel dangerous for Maxim. Knight g3, f5, rook dg1, and the queen side and the queen side kind of play was a little bit abstract still for him. Let's say you go b4. Let's say I go knight g3. Okay, this queen side counterplay. I mean, let's say b3 you go even. Okay, it's a very, very long-term project there on the queen side. Queen b1. And in the meantime, there is some direct f5 kind of thing, which doesn't really work after king h8, but it sort of is in the air. And he just, here even knight e2 back to c3, like it doesn't look so clear cut, and so he decided to bail out into an endgame where he thought he's just better for free. But the endgame is not so bad. Not so bad. Some counterplay, h4, h5 coming, d-pawn is a passed pawn, protected passed pawn. Not such a bad endgame. Chances for Vincent to get back into the game.
Still looks rough, right? Because I put the king on f6. Yeah, exactly. I put the knight on d5. If you go h5, I go g5.
I try to go g5. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, if h5, you go g5. So what was this whole thing for? What was the knight g3, h4 for? You probably missed that. They missed this h5, g5 thing.
His pieces aren't. They're not talking well with each other. The rook on g2.
Wait, why did he play this whole? Yeah. He could go h4 directly, right?
h5?
Knight g3 now, double attack.
That's important. h4, h5, knight g3 is a really important double attack. Well spotted. Oops. Nice.
Yeah, he just... I think he missed this whole thing with that h5 is g5, because I also didn't somehow notice that. Yeah, because he misplayed it a bit again, because now suddenly looks comfortable indeed, because without h5 there's no the whole king side, the knight, rook, and the pawn, they're aiming at h5, and if that doesn't work, you have to bring them all back, but you lost a lot of time.
There are lots of breaks here. There's not just b4. There's a c3 idea as well. Like if this knight comes to d5.
I'm just curious. Yeah. The question for black is here: do you go for b4 and take the rook, or do you go for a5 before, which is keeping the pawn structure more fluid? Of course, a5 before is the more ambitious way of going. You just try to create the a5 before, knight d5, c3, rook behind the pawn, and push the c pawn and win. That's how you're supposed to win these positions, but white's going to try and resist.
Some move like this.
Yeah, rook dc8. I want my b4 move. Yeah, if you play passively, you're going to lose, I guess. Yeah, rook g1, if g1, I go b4. Knight d5, 6. Yeah, no, Maxim, you know, he's been there, done that.
He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt?
Yes. I have one question.
Yes.
In Ding game,
Ding.
How did the queen end up on f2? It doesn't matter at all. I'm just curious, why did the queen ever came to f2? Like, I want to see that. Where did that happen?
Here.
Ah, because it was chased by rooks.
It was chased.
Yeah, that's why. Because I was wondering, like, how can the queen ever end up on f2?
And now we have this position here.
The good thing for white, it doesn't matter. The queen f2, then e3, then queen d2, you crawl back out, and you have that 2 pawns thing. Yeah, so big question, maybe h5 is a chance for black, yeah? To try and block the further expansion, because I don't like allowing g4, g5, and like it's going to be a disaster. Maybe h5. No, king h7. So shaky.
Yeah, he's got chances to hold for sure.
f5. You have to try and break.
f5. Is that to go f6 or is that just to disrupt the?
I think the one issue was that rook takes c3 was maybe a threat already.
I was thinking that. So let's just see. Let's say I go here. Is this just a draw?
Yeah, this pawn end games could be a draw, yeah.
And importantly, if this, because from afar this doesn't look like a draw.
Yeah, it's some sort of a miracle here.
Yeah, like
king f7, king f7. Yeah, I keep the g6 would lose, but I sort of whenever I can meet king f4 with king f6, I'm okay.
And white will outflank.
Ding has to watch out. Yeah, this happened. Ding has to watch out for this endgame. Watch out, Ding. Please watch out.
But king f7 apparently is a draw.
Yeah, this is some sort of a draw. Pretty trivial. Just don't go king f6 before white goes king f4. Just stand e7, f7. And king f3, g4 doesn't do anything because Ding could take and g6, and you have only the h pawn. So there's nothing there. Very exciting moment. Ding is going to win now because Friedman doesn't have the king on h7. He was not in time. He should have played this king h7 move at some point to try, but he never had the time.
And now you can't go g6 because
the queen d4 wins the rook, I think, with checks. One rook or the other.
That's beautiful. So if the king goes here, queen d7 wins the e rook, and if the king goes to g8, queen c4 wins the b rook. And that's about all she wrote. Queen c5 is very strong. And Daniel realizes now.
He will resign now because he lose one more pawn for no compensation. And 4 against 1.
4 against 1.
It's too much time. No, Ding is winning his first game, and finally a convincing victory.
Very.
Daniel made a big strategic blunder with b5, but you know he made mistakes yesterday too. Ding didn't exploit them as well as today. Today Ding really showed. Today's game of Ding is classic Ding, like normal Ding.
Normal Ding.
Normal Ding, just normal Ding game. It's how it should go. Ding Liren against a player lower rated than him by so many. You know, this doesn't work now. This doesn't work anymore.
Is that because king h7 f5?
Because f5. Because f5.
Yeah. And f5.
Yeah, f5. Just in time to f5.
Just in time.
Yes. Okay, f5, f5 also. But yes, just in time. And then the h pawn will fall because I'm outflanking you, of course.
King e5.
Basic,
also good.
Basic stuff.
Yeah. And Daniel.
Yeah, good.
Resigns.
GG. It's a GG by Ding. Could be a historic moment, guys. World champion coming back to form. This could be a pivotal turning point. First good game of Ding in a very, very,
Actually,
very long time.
in living memory, basically.
No, I mean, okay, yeah, but in a long time.
No, in really, I can't
long
remember.
time, yeah,
this was
long
beautiful
time.
though.
Yeah, yeah.
Well done, Ding. I'm happy for him. By the way, Magnus.
We're having exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is an epic position, yeah.
Magnus did do this, so he went h6, knight e6, h7, rook h8, queen e3, and he did take on g5.
Yeah, we have this funny position. White cannot force a win directly because black blockades on h8, but black can't do anything either because the bishop from d7 cannot reach the h7 pawn since I control the f5 square. So we have some sort of a, you know, some sort of a weird standoff where, yeah, somehow white's close to breaking through but cannot quite break through, and black cannot solve the problems by force. So it's a question again if white can find a way to break black's defenses.
I mean, one way would be to go rook h5, queen g7,
and then
rook g5, and queen and take.
No, but it doesn't work anymore, right? Because if you take on g8, unless my king is on, I can put the king.
Okay, so let's say you go king c7, right? And I go rook h5.
Yeah, I go bishop e6. Let's say just
bishop e6, yeah. And I put the queen on g7.
Yeah, but let's say I make some a5. So yeah, nothing move. You play rook g5. What I meant is that you don't have a threat now.
Because queen takes f6 is always there after queen g8.
Ah, you want to play queen g8?
Yeah, but that doesn't.
And that was your win, queen g8.
It does threaten.
And queen takes d8.
And then rook g8.
Okay, yeah. No,
but unfortunately, there's this, which is.
Yeah, you could, in theory, if your king was elsewhere, you could go queen g8, queen f6, rook g7. Yes, maybe. Let's say if your king was on b2.
Oh, that's cute.
Let's say king c1. Just for demonstration purpose, king b2. Yeah, back to b6. Yeah, queen g8 does win now. Queen f6, rook g7.
What a cute.
So
idea.
you did have a good point there. Maybe that's sort of White's winning idea.
Well, we might. I mean, look, it's not ridiculous that we get something like this.
Yes, black has to not stand and wait there. Black has to do something active. Try to, I don't know, do something at some point. Not sure what it is. But black can't wait here. Meanwhile, by the way, is Maxim breaking through? Or is Maxim breaking through against Vincent? Or what's happening?
Wow. Yes, looks good.
I really don't like this move g5. Because,
wow.
I mean... Oh, but he didn't. Maxim just grabbed... no, sorry, Vincent just grabbed the a file, yeah? This was smart.
Rook a1's a nice move.
Yeah, he just grabs the a file. Ooh, Vincent outplaying him. And suddenly here, with the a file, the whole thing is different. My whole knight d5 c3 thing, it's not working because rook c5 is there after knight d5.
That's really important to point out. Knight d5, rook c5, and suddenly...
Yeah, that's the key. Now the whole thing changes around. You're collapsing there. Just one tempo too short for black, and suddenly, as that key idea doesn't work, nothing works for black suddenly, you know? There's just no... Black is suddenly worse. It's a bit weird, yeah? I mean, I was saying this whole thing, but I didn't anticipate. Yeah, in hindsight, you should have taken with the rook here and gone for this other plan, but yeah, that's not as ambitious. AB normal, of course. He thought that he would get knight d5 c3, but just not in time. Yeah, now... yeah, complex endgame. Very complex
really
endgame.
Tough. Really very, very tough.
Probably quite balanced still, but black has to watch out for this rook c5 idea always. But white shouldn't do it in the wrong moment, because now rook c5 doesn't quite work, because I can take a rook d2. So rook c5 is a motif that's in the air, but it's also not exactly a threat.
Okay, so white still has to be very careful, in other words.
G, logical. What I like is I like the idea of freeing the f4 square from my knight and just planting my knight there. Just fg knight f4. It feels good, but I should be careful. If I do that, whenever I put knight f4, you'll go c3. So I'm not sure at all I should do it so prematurely. Yeah, now I have to see. I mean, what's happening here? Knight on f4 is nice, but it doesn't contribute anymore to the queen side. Yeah, here probably some rook c5, some kind of draw is going to happen, but not clear who wants to draw in this position even. Not so clear who's playing for a win, and I guess at this point both players already not so sure.
I know one player who's playing for a win, Magnus Carlsen, with the white pieces. Rook h5 is just the most...
Yeah, can you tell me what is black's counterplay against the plan that you have outlined? What is black's defense? There is some idea of going king b6, king a5, king a4, but it's a little wicked. Like I say, after rook h5, you just kind of hope, okay, it's a little bit sick to go king b6, and after king c1, king a5. Yeah, and then you after rook g5 that you mentioned, king a4, queen. Yeah, and king b2. You join the queen, and probably some. I was thinking some queen. Yeah, it was hard to do it. Yeah, because if the queen gets active, then I take the rook on h8. Okay, let's say
you pass and I go
queen g8, queen f6, rook g7. Okay, now you can. Yeah, but now the whole situation is different. You can even just take on h7 already. It's not so clear. But yeah, bishop f5 is nice. Yeah, yeah.
No. Forget it.
But you could also do something more human. Let's say you could probably do. Okay, you can start with queen e7. That also wins. What if you go rook h7? How bad is that? Oh, you have checkmate ideas there too.
No.
Okay, that's also sick. Okay, the position is completely sick.
It's just crazy.
But that all said, I do like bringing the king to a5 and taking on a4. Like that's cool. That's cool. Oh, there's some other plan as well. Rook e1. Because of course that one plan you showed is only one of the plans. There is also rook e5 for a5 idea, by the way. And currently, yes, the cheapo you pointed at. Yeah, let's say now king b6, I go rook e5. King a5, I go f4. And then I want to go f5 and break like that. And this plan is much more, somehow you're more centralized with white, right? You're more mobilized. Because when you go for this rook g5, queen g8 idea, rook g7, you put all your pieces in the right corner, and the rest of the board is not covered. While here with the rook on e5 and f4, f5, your pieces are still very much present and able to switch to the queen side. No, this looks good for white. Looks very good for white.
I love it. I think this is just winning.
There is some bishop f5 idea here, just very sharp, very concrete, very desperate and very sharp.
So
Magnus, by the way, could have played rook g5 instead of. Why didn't he play rook g5 instead of rook e1 to go to e5 via
h5? Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, rook h5.
It was on h file, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say rook h5, and now after king b6 that we made, now to go rook e5. That would have been much better, right?
I think so.
And the yeah, he thought this is more forcing rook e1, but he forgot about this bishop f5 move, because that's the extra option he allows now. It looks very dubious for black, of course. I mean, this position looks very dubious for black, but it's an option that he could have avoided by going to e5 via h5. A little slip there. Little slip there by Magnus. Let's see if Richard can exploit it.
How is this just not winning? That's...
Isn't Vincent also winning, by the way, meanwhile?
Vincent just winning?
Looks winning to me.
And Vienna's just collapsed? Oh my goodness. No.
No, it's not so bad. Okay, I just saw that he loses a pawn, and I just made a judgment suddenly. But he's not losing, he's losing a pawn. Actually, it's still holding according to computer. And well within according to computer. But, okay, I mean, to me it looks like, the beginning of... I mean, he's definitely lost control of the game completely, and things are turning around against him for Maxim, but maybe he can still hold. So rook c5, dc, rook c6, rook c3, I just thought that this is kind of winning, but okay, it's really not, because you go king e5, and you want to go knight d5, maybe? maybe, and maybe yes. Then you collect the c pawn, and you are in time to draw the pawn.
Just even that pawn ending.
Okay, I'll go king h2 here. By the way, knight d5. I'll take and go king g3. So it's not so simple. Yeah, this is happening as we speak. By the way, king h2 is the only move. Or king g2 also. Why not to g2? By the way, why to? That's so weird. Why to h2?
Like this is.
Yeah, but wait. Oh, intermezzo. Okay.
This is a massive intermezzo.
But let's say simply, king takes d5 instead,
Yeah.
just a demonstration purpose. King g3, king e5. Isn't this also holding? Or?
Probably holds.
Okay, it's getting very close, yeah. Okay, so we're getting this, like a waiting move, rook c1. Sort of a Zugzwang type situation. Yeah, because king d5 always king f4. And now if you go back, I have king g5 and I have outflanked you. You can still play king e6, then I have king f4, king f6. I still can't make progress, probably. I can go like rook a1, rook a6 check, king g5, king e7, king g5, rook c2. Holding somehow.
Holding somehow.
Barely,
Miracle.
barely, yeah.
Miracle.
Yeah, king g2 played. The computer was very accurate. Knight d5, knight d5, rook g6 check first. Somehow the computer that was very accurate. I don't quite see the big difference because I can still play king h3. Knight g6 is more logical, yeah. Knight g6 is more logical.
Well,
king
because
h4.
you can.
King h4 I thought. But then king c6.
Yeah, the king can.
That's cement off. He played by the way knight g6. I like knight g6 very much as well, but white doesn't have to take now. Maybe you can try knight e2, but then f4. Yeah, no, this is just going to be a draw. Too little material. White is better, but too little material. It has to hold for black. By the way, Richard didn't exploit this opportunity. He didn't try bishop f5. He let the rook e5 happen, but he played queen c8. He wants to go bishop f5 now. Although, yeah, so what he wants is f4, bishop f5.
And the point is, if I take, you take.
Yeah,
and
I'll
it's a
have
draw.
perpetual. I have perpetual.
Perpetual check. So after f4,
Bishop f5.
bishop f5. And if I
Okay, yeah,
take,
queen f7, rook h7, queen d5, rook h2, king e1. I have nothing, yeah, I'm just losing. Yeah, white is just completely winning here suddenly. Yeah, it's completely winning suddenly. Like, I mean, you're so mated there on the
and you're
with the
getting
king,
mated.
and you have not a check. Yeah, but wait. So what's the point after f4? Then he has no point, no? I don't see the point. Rich is losing, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I think humanly it's very difficult to defend.
I think he's losing now. Bishop f5 opportunity was huge, by the way, because that position after 36 bishop f5 was very unclear.
No, now it's bad. And Richie with 3 minutes 30 seconds left.
By the way, Vincent is trying some last resort tricks. He's trying some tricks, but even king c5, rook a5, king c4, rook f5, king d3,
Yeah.
even that should probably still hold because of this cutoff. This pawn structure is very dangerous for black, but because of the white cutoff king, black having direct counterplay.
Yeah, and rook g4, rook f8.
Rook f8, king g2, king
King
e2,
e2.
yeah, rook f4, rook g8 again.
Yeah.
So if white were to get like king f1, rook d7 check, smoke you out, this endgame 2 against 1 is very, very tricky for black. But this version is clear-cut draw, and Maxim is good endgame technique, seasoned professional. He will hold this, no problem. Yeah, he found it. We are reaching this very endgame. No, this is not where the intrigue lies. This game will be drawn, but the game of Magnus, that's the fun one. This is the fun game.
Is there any hope here for Richard at all?
I don't really know. I mean, it's a big bummer that the bishop f5 doesn't work. But okay, the a6. A6 at least doesn't lose immediately, and yes, and actually, okay, king c1. White will also improve the king, because f5 now is much worse version. Although it has to be checked. Can you see f5 briefly? It has to be checked because it's a very forcing move. f5, bishop f5, queen f7, much worse version. Rook h7, queen d5. The problem with this version is not so much that I'm missing a pawn, the f pawn,
There's just no mate.
but the king is much safer now because a6 has been made. So you can play like even bishop g6. There's no mate. Okay, so f5 doesn't work. That's why he should just play king c1, apparently. King c1 and king b2, as we had initially
And maybe go a5.
announced.
I like that as well.
Yeah, you can include that. Oh, and you want to go f5, bishop f5, rook f5 after all that. So let's say king c1, king. Yeah, let's say king a7, king b2. Let's say you go a5 with black. And now you're back to f5. Bishop f5, now rook f5, I think simply. And there is no more perpetual because my king has already escaped.
Magnus plays king c1.
Yeah, when there is a human win, he finds it. The engine wins, he doesn't find sometimes, but the human wins, he finds.
You can go f5 immediately here or not?
Take, and
What's wrong with f5 just here?
yeah, I think he can. He can. He can actually. He might actually. He might. Why?
Why put the king
The
on b2?
question is also. Yeah, true. On one hand, you could say why rush it. On the other hand, why not also? Yeah. No, I think he can. Bishop d7 will be played. Bishop d7, by the way, is a good defensive attempt because now queen f7, then you go bishop f5, I guess. And it's a different story once again.
Okay, played f5.
Yeah, f5 is a human move.
Bishop
Bishop
d7.
d7.
Now he's going to play a5. This is so Magnus.
Yeah, a5 is pretty.
No, he's going to
A5,
play a5.
yes.
There's just no question.
Yes.
I'll bet my house on it.
Yeah, a5 is coming for sure. I once bet my house. I lost
on a
it.
move and you lost.
Then I doubled down, pretending I have two houses, but I lost both.
Wow.
So I owe.
You owe two
I
houses.
did it to Sagar. I owe him two houses. Yeah.
To Saga?
To Sagar. Yeah. But he owes me a candidate spot, so it's kind of even.
That's true.
Yeah.
Magnus just will, and the way he'll play this a5 move as well
Yeah.
will be he'll just massage this pawn.
But he likes to think before such moves.
Yeah.
He likes
He's
to
got
think.
3 minutes.
Yeah, he likes to think.
But he's going to massage this pawn to a5.
He likes to think. Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, it feels so good.
Yeah.
A5.
There's just no doubt in my mind he plays a5.
Yeah, feels so good.
And if queen f8, just take on d5 or what? Yes.
I don't know. Rook e7 move is sometimes there. Also, king b2 maybe. King b2 I like the most.
Because
King b2 just no. You have no move. Yeah.
oh, he did it a bit more forcefully.
Yeah, because he has too little time for massaging.
Okay.
No more time for massage.
a5 on the board. Richie with 2 minutes 30.
I think he spent the whole time on this move. He knew he was going to make it. He was just wondering whether to massage it or to make it forcefully, and he decided making it forcefully is the right way to go for some reason. Because I don't think he had any doubt about making that move. Yeah, black is now completely tied up. Magnus loves this particular thing. Black is just completely tied up. There's no
moves.
There's no moves. There's no counterplay. I think queen f8, king b2 is very instructive. That you just now king b2 will come. Just not even giving you a check. You just have no moves at all. It all worked out really well. I mean, at least Rich had to put a pawn on a5 somewhere. To at least it will be lost but less ugly. Now it's lost and also ugly. You have no space for your king. If you move the b pawn, you have 7th rank issue. Rook e7 will be a pin. You just have no move at all. And the a pawn controls the b6 square, the c3 pawn controls the b4 square. You don't have a check, you don't have a hope of a check. It's just lights out. computer, by the way, points out this rook e7 line, it also wins by force. Rook e7, bishop f5, take, rook f7, rook h8, rook g7. Difficult line. You have to take with the bishop, f7. And you are losing, because if you move the bishop rook g8, and otherwise I'll take on h7, next move.
It's very nice.
This wins by force, but king b2 is more conceptual. I don't know which one he will choose, by the way.
He'll play king b2.
Not sure, he likes to win by force too. He's good at winning, and if you, a good advice in general to people who are trying to win games of chess, at some point you have to try and calculate the win. Like, it's all nice and pretty, all this a5, king b2, but at some point just winning is winning. Like, just put it in the bag, you know? Just force it. So I'm not sure what Magnus will do. He can do either.
He's an artist. He's going king b2.
I don't know. He does like winning.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Rook e7, you win. King e7, I win. Who gets the chocolate egg in the break?
Oh, there's only one, yeah?
No, we're going to have to go and get one.
Okay.
It will be one of our tasks to get the chocolate egg.
Okay. So king b2 came.
King b2 one?
Yeah, king b2 came.
Unlucky, buddy.
Yeah, it's...
chocolate eggs o'clock.
King b2 is nice. It's nice.
This is just...
Yeah, the other line was quite difficult.
He's an artist.
Quite difficult.
He's a Künstler.
Is this a German word for the artist?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Dutch...
Kunstenaar. Okay. In Dutch it's Kunstenaar, yeah. It's something similar
in
like
Dutch,
that,
yeah.
Kunstenaar, yeah.
Which is a very tricky word to say.
Kunst is like the art, yeah?
Yeah. But it's a tricky word to say. You'll be very careful on an English broadcast how to pronounce it. Never mind. Don't worry. Queen c8 on the board.
Yeah, I don't know all these naughty British slangs
that
you are.
It's really good.
You and your homies, you know.
I know.
Yeah. Do you like also the English, what it's called? I like this genre. I'm not sure I like it, but this... when English, they have this rap, but they call it...
Drill.
Drill.
Yeah.
You like drill?
Can listen to some drill. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's... I like the combination of the accent and the, it is basically like any other rap
the
in some way.
The undecipherable words.
Yeah, but somehow to talk about, this gangster stuff with a very thick British accent, the contrast there. Like, I associate British accent with, with the Queen and, the breakfast and all that. And suddenly you've got like the guns and, and everything.
Yes.
And it's just such a contrast.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, here's a question. Bishop c6.
No, there's no questions here. Let's just enjoy the show.
Let's just enjoy.
Just prepare your stomach for a chocolate egg, because in this position there are no questions. There are only answers.
I am looking forward to a chocolate egg.
Yeah, I mean, there's only answers here. White now it all just flows. You have to just the final stage of the game. You just push stuff forward. You collect all the hanging stuff. There's no questions anymore. Only answers.
Yeah, because you can, even the d pawn rolls.
There are no checks.
You can just take on f7 here. Bishop takes
difficult.
f5.
Difficult.
Rook e7.
Take on f7? I don't know. You don't need to take. He won't take on f7.
No.
No. Bishop f5 and what?
I wanted to go rook e7.
Rook h7. No, you're messing it up, I think.
I'm completely messing it up.
Right now, there black has no move.
Right.
Oh, he took on f7. Okay, after bishop f5, there is a win, but it's not. It's just not the move you mentioned, but it's some other move.
What does he want after bishop f5?
Yeah. Can you play queen e7? Oh, rook c5. Rook c5.
Rook c5.
Yeah, rook c5 is the move.
This is nice. And if queen d7, he actually wants to trade. This is brutal and go f7.
Yeah.
And if bishop e6.
Yeah, rook c7, yeah.
Rook c7 like this. This is unusual, but look at the king.
Oh, rook h7, very nice. Rook takes b7 in intermezzo. Not to give any hopes for, a some sort of fortress. Yeah, taking one more pawn is.
Yeah, you're not holding this ever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Also, as I mentioned earlier, it's all nice and pretty. Oh, you want to build a fortress here?
I know.
You're close, but not there. If your c4 pawn was on d5 and you had rook on c6, you have almost even that. Yeah, c4 somewhere. But here, like d5 is coming, queen b6 is coming, all collapsing. You cannot quite do this. Yeah, rook c5. Yeah.
How many games have you played against Magnus lifetime? Would you say?
rapid blades as well, or only
Yeah,
classical?
all of it. Do you
Yeah,
think it's
because I
over
think
it?
only classical is probably not that many, like maybe 20. All of it,
Over 100, right? Must be with all the blitz and.
I don't know if it's over 100, but we're speaking around 100. Yeah, I would guess.
And your score's not that bad, right?
To be honest, if we combine all of it, it's not that good either.
Okay.
Not that bad. It's probably.
Up there with the best.
I don't know. I mean, probably like our rate. We both keep our rating. Maybe if we play each other, I would guess. I mean, I have periods with him. I have like periods where I do a few good games, and then periods where it's few bad games. So I don't know. Currently I'm in a good period because I don't play him. But before that, I had some bad periods. No, this is nice. Yeah, this is nice.
Bishop f5, rook g7 is what he's going to do with the similar lines to what we saw
We
before.
just saw that before. Except that time, White didn't have the deep one. Now he's got the deep one as well.
Yeah, this is just...
This is lights out. Yeah, he's pleased.
Richie knows.
He's pleased.
Richie
It is a very aesthetic finish.
Bishop h7, f7.
A very aesthetic
so
finish.
beautiful.
Yeah. I like this a5 thing. It's so
Richie
nice
knows.
there.
This is it. This is resigns here. Richie resigns. Oh, he tries one move. Bishop d3. Okay. Rook g8.
Oh, some stalemates. No, it's not stalemate.
No, you've even got rook a8 check.
But there's also b pawn can move. So
Oh, I like rook
don't-
h2, rook g8.
no,
He just
that's
took.
so what is it? Why not
Yeah, he
rook
just.
g8?
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to think what kind of stalemate did Richie try to. What was the joke there? But I guess there was no joke.
No. Magnus Carlsen doing Magnus Carlsen things.
Yeah, there was a slip there at one point. Remember?
There was one little slip.
One
in
little
the
slip,
opening, yeah.
but then it was like a mutual substrang position that Richie didn't grasp because it was very, very unusual. And then he recomposed himself, regained the composure, gave one more chance to bishop f5. But yeah, it was all difficult, and Richie didn't. Richie was not on